2 hours had passed since Dorian's body had been transported away from his house. The old building was even quieter and more empty now than it had already been all the years before. Dorian's death had left the building, and even the 2 small canaries that had stood in one of the corridors for decorative purposes had been removed. The only reminder that there had been a corpse here a short time ago were the cemetery marks on the floor. The police had not stayed long. It only took the doctor 15 minutes to collect all the necessary data and declare Dorian's death a suicide. At this point, Dorian Gray's story could have come to an end, but death would have been a too small punishment for Dorian. With the knife cut into his own painting, Dorian broke the unexplainable magic and allowed his body to take on the form he had earned with all his crimes. His body now showed all the things that had only been visible in the painting before. From the first wrinkle on his mouth that appeared on the night he lost Sybil Vane, to the clearly visible signs of his age. Dorian's mind, meanwhile, did not remain in his now stiff and cold body. He now looked out of the perfect-looking picture, which reflected the most glorious days of his beauty and looked like the day Basil Hallward had painted it. Trapped forever in his own painting, his wish for permanent beauty could be regarded as fulfilled. His beauty would never disappear. His soul, with all its feelings, memories and thoughts, would be trapped in this painting forever.
Do I have to be alone forever? Will I be trapped in my own painting till the end of all days? For months I have only heard my own voice. I see nothing but the empty room I had been dying in. I have nothing but the haunting memories that I can no longer keep out of my head. My goal to become a better person started with the attempt to destroy this painting. I also wanted to destroy the last evidence of my guilt so that I could start a new life. However, in doing so, I terminated my own existence in the real world. Nobody knows how long this painting will hang here. I don't know how much longer I will have to live trapped in with myself. Or can it even be called a life? No, it's not a life. It's the punishment for everything I have done. The first few weeks trapped in this painting, I could still feel sorry for myself. I felt it was unjustified and wrong that I was trapped in this painting. Well, I have to admit that there were moments behind me when I was happy to be forever beautiful. But these thoughts quickly gave way to the endless loneliness and shame that got worse and worse over the weeks. Again and again, I had the time to rethink my life from the beginning. Again and again, I have gone through every single day in the hope of being able to say that my life had been worthwhile, that I could be proud and satisfied. But in reality, I experience pain again and again when I remember how I killed Basil, and when I think of all these horrible things he had said to me in the last hours before his death. And he was so right. I experience so hellish pain in my soul again and again when I think of all the girls whose hearts I broke. I can hardly bear it when I think of Jack Wayne with his eyes burning with the same fire as Sybil's eyes. And I die 1,000 deaths when I remember Sybil. I think of her appearance, her scent, her kiss, her smile, and her cheerful, wonderful, almost childlike manner. I could murder myself every time I think about the fact that I could have married her. I could have led a wonderful and moral life. When I painfully imagine the future I could have had with her, I cry 1,000 tears. The idea that I would have gotten love lines from all the lovely moments with her, and the illusion of the worry lines that I would have had if she had given birth to our children. With every minute that passes, I regret more and more that I stayed young forever. I regret losing her more and more, and I regret meeting Lord Henry more and more. I deserve to suffer forever. And every day that passes shall cause me more pain for all the bad things I have done. And every day with Cyril that I have thrown away shall pierce my soul like a stab in the heart for eternity, because only this is the punishment for a monster like me.
Many years of loneliness passed before people finally entered Dorian's sad existence again. By a rare coincidence, his painting found its way into a small art museum nearby. Once there, Dorian experienced a feeling of happiness for the first moment after a long time while observing the various people. Every morning he observed with amusement how the art historians discussed and argued about the smallest details of Basil's painting technique. He eagerly awaited the school classes, always hoping that another child would ignore the teacher's monotonous lectures and touch his painting after all, even if only for a brief moment. But he waited most passionately for the early evening hours, when sometimes a young couple would come into his room and, if nobody was watching, perhaps take each other in their arms and whisper inaudible little things in each other's ears. And so, the picture of Dorian Grey still hangs in the same but now famous well-known British museum, and his soul waits day after day for you to visit it.